Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody else, this is John Paval with this week's Access Arts Live Roundup of organ live stream action for the week of October 20th to October 27th. We have a full calendar for you this week with organ recitals or concerts going on nearly every day of the week. We have some highly interesting concerts, in particular, the concluding, the sixth and final organ recital at the Bergamo International Organ Festival down in Italy. So sadly, has already come. It's this week, and it'll be the Isabel Damons, who once made such an impact on the organ world. They referred to Damer's fever. She's a Quebecois originally. I'll tell you more about her. But we also have novices like Joshua Lee, who will be playing in just about an hour from now at St. James Church in Toronto. He's the organ scholar there. And for once, we have the full schedule of what they're going to be playing at the St. James recital. We have pianist or keyboard specialists like Haydée Schvartz from Argentine, who's really a big deal in Argentine and elsewhere, and she's going to be playing the organ this week. We have Alexei Fiseisky, who's one of the absolute top organists in Russia. He's just renowned as a top organist there, and so we're ready to roll. Before I go any further, let me remind you, if you're watching this on Facebook, please like the video. If you're watching this clip on any other of our platforms, don't just like the video, follow and or subscribe to Access Arts Live on YouTube, X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, or LinkedIn, so we can keep giving you more than 1,000 live links to live performances online, free of charge for our part. Although some of the content creators do charge something for it, we provide the links to you for free. So, having said all of that, which is a mouthful, let me get on to actually talking about the first of this week's organ recitals, which is with Joshua Duncan Lee. Tuesday, October 21st, today, St. James Episcopal Toronto live streams their Wayne C. Vance organ scholar Joshua Duncan Lee, playing Vivaldi, Tchaikovsky, and Florence Price. That's at just in an hour from now, 1 o'clock. Actually, I've got that wrong. I think it's happening right now because there's been a time change. And there's only a 5-hour difference between Toronto and Europe now. So that's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the East Coast, Eastern Standard Time, which means it's right now, 6 o'clock in the evening. Here in Europe. So listen, if you love organ recitals, go look at that live. You can come back and look at this, as a recording. It's not a big deal. Joshua began studying the organ at the Cathedral Church of St. James about a decade ago with Ian Sadler, and he traveled with Sadler's choir, the Cathedral Singers of Ontario, etc. And then he's a first-year organ performance student now at the University of Toronto. He'll be playing Bach's Concerto in D minor. Well, it was arranged by Bach, but it was originally composed by Vivaldi, BWV 596. Then he'll be playing E.H. Lemaire's arrangement of Tchaikovsky's Andante Cantabile from the Symphony No. 5 by Tchaikovsky, the Symphonie Pathétique. And then he'll play a piece by Florence Price, The Oak, as arranged by himself, J.D.M. Lee. The organ has 87 ranks, 67 speaking stops, 4 manuals, 6 divisions, 5,101 pipes. Have a good time if you go over to listen to it right now. He's a good guy. Let's move on to the next then, which will be to tomorrow's live streams, which you can enjoy without reference to having to give up watching me live. Okay. Wednesday, October 22nd, Temple Church London live streams its resident organist and the professor of organ and organ coordinator at the Royal College of Music, Charles Andrews. That's at 1 o'clock lunchtime in the UK, 2 o'clock here in Europe, which will be That's going to be 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 6 a.m. Pacific Time for all you Hollywood people, you technicians that get up at ungodly hours like 4 or 5 in the morning at midnight down under in Australia. It's a Harrison & Harrison Limited organ with 4 manuals and 3 32-feet stops, so it's serious. Originally built back in the 1920s for a ballroom in Scotland, Marcel Dupré it came up from Paris to inaugurate it. But in the 1950s, they moved it to London. And about a decade ago, it was completely taken apart and refurbished in the Harrison & Harrison workshop in Durham. Don't know what he's going to be playing. That's why I spent the time talking about the organ, because they never tell us what they're going to be playing at Temple Church, London. Just doesn't happen. Can't help you with that. But you know what the organ's like, and you know he's the top organist. He runs the organ show at the Royal College of Music. You know, it's hard to be higher up in the food chain than that, actually. Then we move on to one of this week's very interesting performers, really distinguished guy. Wednesday, October 22nd, Queen's College, Oxford, live streams a distinguished organist, harpsichordist, and teacher, Robert Costin, playing Johann Sebastian Bach's entire Die Kunst der Fuge, the art of the fugue, in its entirety. That'll be at 2:10 European time, 8:10 in the morning, 9:10 in the morning on the East Coast, and 6:10 on the West Coast. And I'll try to make sure those numbers are fixed in the list that accompanies in the comment section. We always list all these things, and I'm just noticing that I didn't always take into account the fact that the US went on daylight savings time before we do in Europe. So there's only 5 hours difference now. Anyway, Robert Costin recently recorded Bach's The Art of the Fugue and other works on the organ of Trinity College, Cambridge, which he is wont to do. And it's coming out on Firsthand Records in January on CD and on digital platforms. In the past, he recorded Bach's Well-Tempered Clavier on the organ of Trinity College, Cambridge. So he's played at Cathedral as the organist at cathedrals in the UK and down under in New Zealand. He's taught in the UK, in Italy, in Thailand. The guy's moved around. And now he's the head of academic music and organist at the Sherborne School. So go figure. But I think it should be that's a real demonstration concert. And if you love Bach, well, you're going to get your ears full. It's a Frobenius organ built by a Danish firm, built in 1965. I think we'll give you the link to the description of it on their website without further ado on my part. But on Thursday, we move ahead to yet another highly interesting concert by another international organist, who I'm very happy to tell you about, Carolyn Craig, originally from Knoxville, Tennessee. And she's happy. You know why she's happy? She was just recently named a junior fellow at the Royal Conservatoire in Birmingham. So now she's got a sinecure there in the UK. She has been, before that, an organ scholar at Westminster Abbey. And she got degrees from Indiana, which has a great music school, and Yale University. And she was playing the organ at one of the chapels associated with Yale while she was there as a student. Anyway, she works on inclusivity in her programming. We don't know exactly what she's going to play. We haven't been told, but you can expect her to be playing some of the women composers. I wouldn't be surprised to see Rachel Lauren on the list of composers that she plays. But I can't tell you definitively because they haven't told us. That's at, did I already say that? It's 2:10 in the afternoon European time, which is 9:10 in the morning on the East Coast and 6:10 in the morning on the West Coast. And I don't know what time it is down under in Australia, but you Australians can figure it out if you want to check this out. It's a Father Willis organ delivered by Boat and installed in 1887 that has almost identical specifications to Coventry Cathedral's organ. And we are told, and I always love to quote this, that it bears the standard Willis hallmarks. Quote, tierce mixtures on great and swell, characterful gadacts on the choir, and a small but telling pedal division. That just rolls off the lips so easily, I just love saying it. So that's Carolyn Craig, and she's been well appreciated at a lot of places, so I think she'll probably do a sweet job for you. But she's going up against, at the same time, decisions. This Argentine pianist, Haydée Schvartz. Thursday, October 23rd, Glasgow University Chapel hosts the Argentine pianist and the cram residence in music, Haydée Schvartz. She'll be playing contemporary composers from around the world in the genre of the tango, because she is a top pianist and keyboardist in Argentina, and she has been commissioned to be involved in something called the International Piano Tango Collection, because, well, the tango and Argentina are very well connected. So she'll be playing works by, among the names of the composers, Gabriel Valverde, Gerardo Gandini, Jorge Horst from Argentina, Oliver Knudsen and James Clapperton from Scotland, and other composers from Japan, Hungary, and the USA. Sounds like a terrific event by a top keyboardist from Argentina, visiting there in Scotland. It's a 3-day residency where she gives lectures and does dialogues and things like that. You can look it up on the Glasgow University website. She looks very with it, I'll say that. And here's Alexei Fiseisky with his protege. Wednesday, October 22nd, Artbene live streams the distinguished Russian organist Alexander Fiseisky and his protege Anna Margerut playing Baroque masters from Italy, Spain, and England. That's at 7:00 in the evening on Wednesday. It's amazing to me how how interested in Europe the Russians remain. So many concerts, not just on the organ, but others, chamber music concerts and symphonic music and all of that, are going on constantly in Russia, which are preoccupied with European and American music. And in fact, this week, the Moscow Philharmonic is hosting a Russian comic who is going to be talking about American comedy. So they're not alienated culturally from Europe or the US in spite of everything else that's going on, which I think is good. Anyway, do we have the specifics of what they're going to be playing? No, we don't have the specific details, but we do know that they're focusing on top Baroque composers from the time of Bach and other masters of that Baroque era on the Roman Catholic Cathedral organ. And some of the music will be for four hands, which is why Anna Margerut is in the mix for playing in this concert. That's not the only Artbene concert we have for you this week. There's another one coming up on Friday that I want to tell you about. By a highly interesting organist, Daniel Salvador, who's Spanish, but he lives between Madrid and Moscow now. Daniel Salvador, organist of the Papal Basilica of San Michael in Madrid, is playing at Moscow's Catholic Cathedral. On Friday, October 24th, in a live stream on the Golden Age of Spain, music by Cabanilles, Cabezon, Ecole, Zweilink, Soler, and others. I don't even know all these people, and it's he gave a similar concert a year ago, which was called The Golden Age of Spain Part 2 in Belarusia. There's a special musical genre in Spain for music with a very light touch, which is called tiento, and he's going to be playing some of that music, and then he'll be playing fandangos, batalillas, and other compositions, which I know nothing about. He will be playing some examples, Batalla Imperial, Imperial Battle, by Joan Cabanilles, who lived 1644 to 1712. In other words, hardcore Baroque. He'll be playing Araujo's Tiento a modo de canción, a tiento in song form. Then there are a number of pieces that are just called tientos, tiento of the fourth tone, tiento of the eighth tone, a hymn to the Immaculate Conception of the Blessed Virgin Mary, etc. So a Spanish organist playing tiento and other Baroque music from Spain for Russian audiences that apparently love it, because he's spending half his time in Moscow now. Check it out. Now we come to Friday's big deal, which is the Bergamo International Organ Festival. Sadly, the last of their concerts. It's a 6-week festival. It's like every Friday during October. They start in late September. It's Isabelle Demmer. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. She's Quebecois. You could pronounce that Demer. You could pronounce it Demmer. I'm sure when she's in the United States, people just pronounce it Demmer, but it could be Demer, D-E-M-E-R. I have no idea. I don't know all these people. Anyway, Friday, October 24th, the Bergamo International Fest concludes with Isabelle Demmer at the Basilica Santa Maria Maggiore, playing Williams, Loren, Holst, Baker, Reger, McDowell, and Stravinsky. And we do have the list of everything she's going to be playing. And she's calling this concert Look Up. It includes the Star Wars Suite by John Williams, which she transcribed, Rachel Loren's Flight of the Hummingbird, and Dialogue of the Mockingbirds from her 12 short pieces, Gustav Holst Saturn from the Planets, George C. Baker's Étoile dans le Noir, Star in the Black, Max Reger's Fantasy on the chorale Wie schön leucht uns dort Morgenstern. I wish I could translate for you, but I can't. Then Cecilia McDowell's Church Bells Beyond the Stars, and Igor Stravinsky L'Uccello di Fuoco Suite, which she transcribed again. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Isabelle Demmers, because she's a very interesting person. She first came to the fore in 2010. She did a performance at the American Guild of Organists, which gave rise to what was called Demmers Fever. And she's performed all over Europe and Australia, New Zealand, and the US and Canada. So a lot of, what would you call that? British Commonwealth for a Quebecois. That's interesting. She made her debut at the BBC Proms, which is the first time she played in London, in 2023 at Royal Albert Hall, which is, that's quite a that's quite a takeoff. She studied at Juilliard, graduated about 20 years ago. I'm looking to see where is she now. She's currently, she's a professor at McGill University. So top organist with a lovely, varied program, including transcriptions of her own of more classic pieces, and then, very modern upbeat stuff like John Williams. It's hard to beat that. So, and hats off, chapeau to the Bergamo International Organ Festival. I'm so sorry to see it end. You guys, you do a great job. And I must move on as well. to the next concert. Did I tell you the time? No, I probably didn't even tell you the time of that concert. That's on Friday. Let me back up just a moment to make sure you know. That's on Friday at 9 o'clock in the evening, European time, which means it'll be at 4 in the afternoon on the East Coast and 1 in the afternoon on the West Coast, if you want to check that out. And I strongly recommend you watch it live. There's nothing like enjoying these concerts while the organist is pouring out their heart, mind, and soul for you. That's the whole point of the performing arts. If you watch a recording, it's not even the performing arts anymore. It's some form of literature. The performer's gone. They've gone fishing, they're having lunch, who knows what, they're visiting family. But the last thing that anybody is thinking, any performer is thinking of when you watch a recording is you. And the one thing they are thinking about when they are performing live is you, whether you're in the hall or whether you're watching remotely. And more during concert, at the beginning of concerts, which are live streamed, they thank the live stream audience before or afterwards. Anyway, also on Friday, October 24th at 1 in the afternoon on the West Coast, 4 o'clock on the East Coast, and 9 o'clock in the evening in Europe, St. Paul's Episcopal Cathedral in San Diego, live streams as usual, the articulate and engaging and talented Canon Martin Green. Don't know what he's going to be playing. We never do. We give you the link to it. He always comes up with an interesting array of old and new music, European and American music, and gives wonderful, easy to understand explanations for why he chose those pieces and what to look for musically during the pieces, without leaving us in a cloud of musicological dust, as I like to say. That organ they had an Aeolian Skinner organ in Opus 1495, installed in 1969, but it was completely rebuilt in 2012 by Quimby Pipe Organs, Opus 68. It has 4 manuals, 98 stops, 86 ranks, 115 draw knobs, which is a lot, as it only has 4,933 pipes. Okay, then we move on to Sunday. I don't have a Saturday concert for you. There is one at the Roman Catholic Cathedral, but it's not an organ concert, really. I mean, they will play the organ there, but it's the Moscow Virtuosi. If you want to know about that, tune in about a half an hour's time when I do the weekly chamber music roundup. Next up for you is on Sunday with the reliable Thomas Hospital. Sunday, October 26th, St. Eustache Church in the heart of Paris live streams resident organist Thomas Hospital playing Marcel Dupre's Cortège et Litanie and Louis Viern's Third Symphony, Opus 28, on that great Van den Heuvel organ. That organ has 7,952 pipes, 115 stops, and 5 manuals on the console, and has 2 consoles, one which is in the middle of where the audience is sitting all around the organist during these live streams, and one is up above us in the loft to the left where all the pipe work is. And we're sitting between those two, and you're just immersed in it. Hundreds of people. Something like 300 people show up every Sunday for these concerts, and then there are others standing in the back because they take up all the seats. It'll be a great concert. Thomas Hospital really knows how to rock, and he's playing, from these greats from the silver age of the French organ tradition. Can't beat that. And lo and behold, that's all of the live streams that we have for you this week. Yeah. We got it done in about 25 minutes, a little early. So I hope that one, some, more, or any of these live streams inspires you, uplifts you, or just shows you a good time. I think that Haydée Schvartz with that tango thing on Thursday is going to be a terrific concert. I think that Isabel Demers is going to be a terrific concert. I also think Carolyn Craig, at the same time as Haydée Schvartz on Thursday, will be doing a lovely concert. So it's a really good week for organ recital live streams. Let me remind you before I go, if you're watching this on Facebook, please like the video. If you're watching on any of our other platforms, we're happy that so many of you like our videos, but please take the next step and follow and or subscribe to Access Arts Live wherever you watch us on YouTube, X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and or LinkedIn, so we can keep providing you with more than 1,000 live links to live performances online this year. No other online service or outlet can make that claim. Those who are live streaming, even the ones that are doing collective live streaming, the most they can come up with is maybe, we have one competitor that comes up with maybe 150 live streams. And many of those live streams we make available to you free of charge, and they charge you to subscribe on a monthly basis in order to see many of the same live streams. And they just don't tell you can also go see them for free. So we think that's valuable, and we'd like to reach more and more people. To do that, we need to build up the algorithm. So if you're listening, I'm serious about this, please subscribe to us or follow us on those other platforms. And with that, I'll say ciao for now. I will be back in 33 minutes for the Access Arts Live weekly roundup of chamber music live stream action.